Hi, this is Mike. Welcome back to the Moodle project. The goal of this project is to install the infrastructure to run an instance of Moodle on a Linux server. This is just another step in that process. Well, this is the final step in the process. We're finally going to install Moodle on our Linux server. So there's a number of steps. The first thing we need to know, so we select the correct version of Moodle that is compatible with our server, is to get the MySQL I got to log in correctly. Let's go to the root. Log in as root. You need to get the version of, I'm not exactly sure what. There it is. So let's see with PHP. Okay. So we have 5.3.3 for PHP, and we have 5.1.73 for the database server. So let's go to the Moodle site, and this is just moodle.org. Let's go to the downloads page. And scroll down, and we'll just take a look. Well, they've got a new 2.7 out, and it requires PHP 5.4.4 and MySQL 5.5, so that won't work. So the next version here, 5.PHP 2.6 requires PHP 5.3.3 and MySQL 5.1.33. So we're good on both, because we have a later version than the 0.33 on the MySQL. I've already downloaded this file to my desktop, and we'll upload it using FileZilla. We'll create a, we'll call it Moodle project. Sounds original, huh? 198.199.98.66 We'll select the SFTP. We'll log in normally. And we'll connect. So there we are. We're in the home directory on our server. So now, let's go ahead and upload the latest copy of, take a few minutes, and while it's uploading, I'll go ahead and just go offline. I'll be back in just a minute. Now that we have downloads complete and the Moodle source code is on the server, we'll need a CD to the home directory of Mike. There's the source code. It'll have to be untarred, so we'll use man tar to figure out in terms of these switches, it's fairly easy. Extract, E is using the gzip program, and F is just the file that follows. And you can use man, tar to figure out any other kind of combinations that you need. This allows us to, and this capital C switch allows us to untar it into another directory. So that should be pretty quick. Okay, so let's CD over into the Apache's document root. And there's our instance of our source code of Moodle. Now, let's CD, we're going to install this. There's some tutorials that go through and tell you all the things to do, prepare to install. But we're just going to install it and just work through things as they turn up. So there's the install file. And we'll need to come back to the SSH session to do some modifications as we are instructed during the install. Let's go ahead and type in our IP address. And now it's, because in the document root, you saw the folder there that was Moodle. So all we need to do now is type in install.php, and it should take us to the wizard, or at least start us in the wizard. So we'll say, okay, English, fine. Verb web paths. Okay. Now we're going to have to go back. If we just said next now, it'll more than likely fail. Don't have a writable directory. Let's go back to our SSH session, and we'll CD up two directories, which will bring us into the www folder, and we'll make dir Moodle data. And this is off the top of my head. We'll use the ch own command, which what this does is assigns users. So right now the users are root and root. The primary user is root, the group is root. But we want to make the user as Apache. So we want to make the owner of the file Apache. So we'll do this. I'll leave it as okay. Now Apache is the owner of that file, and they have write privileges. So if we go back to our install, this should work now. Okay. So Moodle supports several types of databases. Please select this contact. Okay. So we have MySQL installed. So let's go ahead and and here we're going to have to go back to our session and do some database work. Like I say, we could have done this ahead of time, but I think it's, in a way, I think it's sometimes a little more informative to do it this way. What we need to do is we need to create a user and a password for the Moodle database. The first thing we need to do is log in MySQL, MySQL-u, root-p, type in root's password. And now we don't have a Moodle database, so let's create database, Moodle, return. So now we need to simply create a user, and we'll give this particular user all permissions, all privileges on this Moodle database. To create the account, we'll grant all privileges on Moodle, all tables to, well, let's be consistent, to Moodle user at local host identified by password, identified by the password. That should not only grant all the privileges, but create the Moodle user account as well. Now we need to flush the privileges, code privileges. Okay, let's go back to the install and add user and password. We want the prefix to be MDL. Port is 3306, which is standard. I don't think you actually have to put that in there. Unix socket, I don't think we need to add that. So this should create the database. Well, one more little hiccup first. So basically what it's done here is it's provided us with a configuration file. Since the file is not writable, does not exist currently on the server. So we'll simply copy and paste, go back to our telnet or our SSH. I think we're done with MySQL, so we'll go ahead and exit out of that. And we'll CD back into Moodle. Create a config.php file. We will paste the results. And just use the right click on your button. Make sure that you press insert before you paste, otherwise it will truncate some of the leading characters in the file, or what's being pasted. So now let's get out of insert mode in the command mode, :w quit, u quit. Now let's go back to our install. Okay. Looking promising. Moodle does a pretty nice job on a number of fronts. So in this case, it tells us all of the things that must be installed, and it also tells us the things that it might be a good idea to install. We'll only go through and clean up the ones that must install. So this one is the GD extension is now required by Moodle for image conversion. The DOM is a PHP extension. So we'll have to install both of those extensions. We'll use yum to install packages. And I'm pretty sure you just put just append or prepend PHP to the extension that's required. Accept. And okay, refresh this. Well, the page is refreshed and that GD extension is still needed. So what we didn't do was we didn't restart the server. So let's just, instead of restarting the server more than once, let's go ahead and let's just take a couple more of these, DOM and MB string. So we'll do the yum DOM, yes, and then we'll do the MB string, and yes. And now we'll restart the service. Start. Okay. Refresh now. And a few of these should have been cleaned up. Okay. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and clean them all up. But in this case, it's really not that necessary. We go down here, see that our MySQL version is correct. It says version 5.133 is required. You are running 5.173, and version 5.33 PHP is required, and we are running 5.33. So it goes through and does a pretty good job of checking things. Continue. And installation is proceeding. And it looks like they're all successes. Now we need to give an admin password. Some special characters. Email address. And just use admin at a.com. And we'll accept the rest of the defaults. Select country. like the United States. This should really be the final step in installing Moodle. A couple preliminary things. It's called Moodle, Moodle project, and Moodle project. All we need to do now is save changes. There's our instance of Moodle. Made it. Finally. Enjoy. I hope you learned something in this process. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.